Father said he spoke with God.
Really? And what did he say?
That he was gonna send down a flood.
A flood, you say? So that means we're all going to die.
Well, I'll give it this. It's better than the book. I know what you're thinking. Noah's Ark again? How many times can God flooding the earth be made into a children's film? The answer? I've got enough material for my entire lifetime. And I'm a dragon. We don't do the death thing for a while. I'm getting off topic. So this is El Arca de No, or Noah's Ark, a cute little film all the way from Argentina that attempts to answer the question, what if you replaced all the animals on the Ark with furries and animated it like a cheaper Emperor's New Groove? Why that question wasn't ignored is more of the pressing issue here, but here we are. Do I need to say anything else? From the clips I just played, you must already see why this thing is even remotely discussed beyond, oh, that was a thing, wasn't it? The sexualized female animals are one thing, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Now, I have to preface this with a bit of a disclaimer. I did a stupid, and despite several wads of cash spent rectifying it, without purchasing a compatible DVD player and the original DVD released in PAL format, which would jack up my total expenses on this film to nearly $100, I'm forced to review the 2014 American release of the film. This omitted several key scenes simply due to their suggestive or obliquely risque nature. We're talking allusions to sex, homosexuality, actual sex, and a lot of the later scenes on the Ark as well. Maybe one day we can take a look at those, but trust me, they're forced to leave quite a few questionable things in. This is the table scraps after passing overseas, and despite what they took out, there's still plenty to chew on. So, hopefully for the last time this year, let's hop on Noah's wet and wild ride. This is El Arca de Noah. Fuck it, this is El Arca. So we open on several animals being assholes to one another, all culminating in their capture by some hunters. They're all either killed or sold in the market, which is where we find God wandering with his assistant, an angel who's never named. So I'm gonna call him Jim. So God and Jim walk through the market, and God reveals his plans to flood the earth to start anew with mankind, because they've all become spoiled pissheads. But Noah and his sons walk through town to pay off a debt to these two schmucks, only to put himself right back into debt by freeing a slave, which catches God's attention. On the way home, Noah talks to his two sons and the adopted one. Okay, I'm kidding, but seriously, why is one of them black? For no reason. I've got no religion, so I don't really care, but don't you think if anywhere you were going to change a character's race, a film targeting young kids, most of whose parents were probably religious, would be, I don't know, a distasteful choice? What the hell am I saying? This is commendable next to what we're going to see. So they all head home and we meet the rest of Noah's family.
Oh, that's all you know how to do is yell. I am not yelling. You're yelling at me.
Anybody get the sudden urge to die? Noah's wife goes out to check on her husband, concerned for his mental health as well as their financial stability. Understandable reasons to want to talk to him seriously for a moment. And our very lovable protagonist does what any good guy would. He walks into the forest while his wife talks. He steps into a light, and then God and Noah share the ancient conversation where he bestows onto Noah the knowledge of his intentions to flood the earth.
Are you who I think you are?
Who do you think I am?
Who do you think I think you are?
I think you think that you think I am who you think I am.
I would think that you'd think that
That's enough.
Infinite wisdom confined within just a few small words. So God tells Noah to build an ark, and you know the rest. He gets to work at dinner sculpting a model ark from his mashed potatoes.
This means something. This is important.
And writing letters to all the animals. Sure hope they're sentient and can speak your language. Then Noah begins cutting down trees in the forest to his family's worry.
Noah? Is there any way I can help?
someone needs to call on all the animals.
Call on all the animals?
All of them. A male and a female of each species.
Okay, somebody grab whatever qualified as a doctor back then. Noah's off his rocker. Then Noah sells his family's home to these two scummy debt collectors in exchange for a bunch of pigeons and okay, stop. Now you're putting yourself out of home before you even started the Ark? Did the idea that your mind was going ever once occur to you, Noah? Could you have questioned God on this, gotten a sign that it's more permanent than his word? I know I'm harping on this a bit, but I don't like Noah initially in this movie because of how he just does stuff and remains mostly quiet about why. Just saying God said to do it does not excuse you from your actions. Although what I find more annoying is the reaction we get out of the Real Housewife of New Jerusalem here.
I can understand the house being traded for some lousy pigeons or that a century-old forest be chopped down to construct a ship. But what I can't understand is that your husband has spoken to God and it didn't even occur to him to ask for anything.
Can we leave her behind? Her voice kind of makes me wish she was left behind. Noah sets loose pigeons containing messages to all the world's animals, but with their newly found freedom, the birds immediately abandon their duty and hit a bar. No, I'm not kidding. This is the first of many scenes that were cut down, but apparently there were several shots of the birds carousing about and being generally drunk as shit, so they just decided to cut it down to this bird leaving with all the messages to fly off and do his job. Oh, but before any of that, here's some of God and the angel discussing how to make the Bible better and appeal to more people.
Look at this. It's Buddha's book. It has wonderful pictures. And this one is in Chinese. It's got more than 800 pages. And just look at the cover. So when will ours be ready?
Well, sir, we're just at the beginning. They're the first chapters. We really need something to catch people's interest.
You don't think the flood is enough?
I don't know if we can keep our readers' attention.
Yeah, I can believe God's ghostwriter was overworked and underappreciated. I mean, just look at all of its glaring flaws. Okay. Cheap shot, cheap shot. The good pigeon flies off into the jungle, getting chased and attacked by several animals along the way, narrowly avoiding death at the hands of the predators. Also, note what the animals look like here. Slim, animalistic in design. Yep, your standard ordinary... Jesus Christ on a very thick cracker! Look at that ass. She's more ass than woman. This is Kyrell, a caring and sweet lioness who... Ow! Sorry! She's like the aide of the king and queen of the animals, because that's a thing, and she's pretty smart, I guess. Whatever, let's move on. When she sees the letters addressed to all the animals of the world, we cut to a throne room where the king reads the message aloud. Again, another scene that was cut was the introduction of two pretty relevant characters. One is this buff lion who's getting a massage from a gay orangutan. No, he's gay. Look at the scarf and listen to his voice.
I'll be back in a minute, darling.
He's like the gay guy from Modern Family rolled up in a stereotype and smoked by a fashionable ape. As for the guy he's giving the rub-down to, it's the king's son, Prince Zero, who reads the letter in this scene, albeit ripped apart and not showing the full message, and he mistakes this whole arc thing for a temporary pleasure cruise where he can...
Multiply, yeah! Woohoo!
Oh, so that's why they cut it. I thought it was the gay orangutan or the sensual massage. It's clearly the scientific term for doing it like they do on the Discovery Channel. Regardless of what version you watch, Zero butts in on his dad reading this letter to the council and demands to go on the Ark, framing it as a test of leadership and responsibility. The king and queen agree to this and Zero runs off to pack. Kyrell gets all gushy and folds her hands against her cheeks, so we know she's got the hots for the prince, and the bad news is she's put in charge of finding him a suitable mate for the trip by the queen. Ooh, that's gotta sting. Zero packs for the trip and talks to the gay orangutan named Bombay, who's coming on the trip? Okay, you sound like you swallowed Scully from Scary Godmother, and this is your girlfriend.
Okay, that thing has a dick!
Not only would orangutans be extinct, but I'm pretty sure God has sort of a policy, let's say. He's not a fan of, well, let's say he saw Brokeback Mountain and he wasn't very happy. So the king calls all the animals to a meeting, and actually quite a lot of work must have gone into this scene because they pack this room full. It actually looks like they fit in every single animal you can think of. Kudos. He says that not everybody has to go, but Noah needs at least 2 representatives of every species, 1 male and 1 female. Apparently there's some distrust among the animals since man has never shown up once to any of their meetings. Have you tried? Really? I mean, like, have you sent a letter, a bird, anything? Because I'm going to say this, the humans I deal with don't ordinarily take kindly to me, but once you've disarmed them, they can be quite cooperative. Oh, and hilarity ensues as the mythical creatures like a unicorn and a dragon detest the idea and refuse to trust humans. I'll give you a moment to laugh. Okay, onward. On their way back from the meeting, the obvious antagonist, a tiger named Dagnino, follows the king and queen, asking who will be leading the chosen animals on this trip. Cue perfectly timed reveal of an agitated crybaby.
Explain to me how none of my choices qualify as a partner for me on this trip. Who's responsible for the selections? I want one of my choices. I want one now!
Dagnino sees weakness and childishness in Zero, and he's not even subtle about his intentions of taking over the throne.
It'll be a great trip. Maybe a new beginning can also mean a new king.
Okay, bye, evil McBad. See you on the Ark. While that's all happening, Noah's sons are doing what anyone would be if their aging parent was selling their worldly possessions and working day and night building an impossibly large boat because God spoke to them in the forest, looking into nursing homes. Zero gets chewed out for his tantrum earlier, but he demands to know why his choices of mates were disqualified. Now, this is another heavily edited scene. I know, I'm a broken record already, but when I first watched it, here is exactly how the scene played out. I swear I've cut none of this. Only some of the beginning and the ending to get past the censors.
Your behavior is unacceptable.
Since when are there so many prerequisites for taking a trip? Who's in charge of this ridiculous way of choosing?
I asked Kyrell to do the interviews.
I should have known. I'm taking Bruma, and that's that.
Okay, so what did they leave out? Well, how about when he reads Kyrell's list of rejections and the reasons for turning down those potential mates?
Your behavior is unacceptable.
This is just unbelievable. All of my suggestions have been rejected.
There must be a good reason.
Of course there is. Would you like to hear them? Newbie. Big boobs, no brains. Bruma. Too thin, no brains. Niebla. Too hippie, too busty, and no brains.
Holy shit. This got dubbed? They even considered the lines about boobs and hip size for a kid's movie? I mean, maybe Watership Down and Felidae had excuses for their content. Felidae was clearly for adults, and Watership Down was from a long time ago. This was released in 2007 for kids. What made them think this was okay? So we cut back to Noah, who's actually made some damn impressive progress on the Ark.
1,300 double cabins, plus 5 towers for the birds. On the upper levels, the section for humans. 4 cabins for our family. We will create a caring community without hatred or resentment, navigating in peace towards a new world.
Okay, that's awesome. It's poor CGI, but it's cool they actually made it look massive enough for all the animals. Am I going to nitpick that Noah did not have the resources, time, or body to build any of this? No. Why? Because there's actual problems with this movie later on, and you can't fault the movie for the sins of the book, am I right? The animals are on their way, with Kyrell supervising the trip to the Ark. Another cutscene, which was actually rather pointless this time, was the introduction of Zero's partner, Bruma, who is, oh, come the hell on! She's got more chest and booty than every pirate movie ever made. I make jokes about characters pandering to furries, but come on! How did they animate this whole scene one-handed? Surely they needed their other hand at some point. Well, the animals arrive at the Ark, and as they're about to board, one of the pigs says he wants to be assured his safety aboard the Ark, since there's vicious predators with them. While many predators laugh this off, the pig insists, and so Kyrell has to get Prince Zero to make the decision. Can the predators dine on other passengers? Unable to make a decision in time, an ensuing attempt to silence the pig ends in this alligator getting stopped by Dagnino with his fuck me daddy strength, but a voice that sounds like he's trying to go a bit deeper than what he can really do.
This is not the time for internal conflicts that sooner or later end badly. We have the opportunity to forge a new world. Let's do it based on respect and tolerance. I say here that if any of us so much as touches one of our brothers, I myself will give him his rightful punishment.
I love the way he talks. He's so good at it. I loved it.
I don't, but I'm glad the cast is enjoying each other's performances. Actually, can I gripe here? Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna gripe. It's about dubbing. I mentioned this in my Sheep and Wolves review and maybe in my Cat's Return review to an extent, though I'm not sure. But voice acting is generally harder to do well when you have to match a certain speed and delivery from another actor in another language. So perhaps the first actor gave out quicker, higher-pitched delivery, but you want a slow and deeper voice with a drawl. There's going to be difficulty there, and so when this happens, I understand. And maybe their language allows for quicker or longer scenes, which means you need to tailor your delivery to match the pace of the scene, if you get what I mean. However, regardless of that, why does Dagnino have that I read this once and only recorded it once kind of sound?
This is not the time for internal conflicts that sooner or later end badly.
See, why was that line delivery so awkward? Maybe they rushed all dubs out, I don't know, and if that's the case, I feel sorry for actors who can't get it right on every line the first time, because then they have to have this black mark on their portfolio. Whoa, that went way off topic. Sorry, just needed to get my opinion out there, I guess. Anyway, where were we? Seeing as how they haven't moved in quite a while, Noah comes to greet them. Oh, also, it's important to note that Bruma here's kind of a dick to Kyrell, and she's a bit of an airhead at her best. She's not here too long, so I wasn't going to mention that. What do I mean by that? Well, we'll get there. Noah opens his arms to let his rank pits waft, and God puts the kibosh on that before he kills every one of the animals.
The time has come.
The ensuing rainfall scares the animals, and they rush aboard. In the ensuing chaos, Kyrell tries to warn Zero of Dagnino's ever-growing snidely whiplash facial hair.
And you're not only fat, you're a busybody. Can't stand her any longer. Did I hurt you? What's that smell?
even think of defending me. Oh, my little pom-pom.
Jesus Christ, wow. That's a bit dark for a movie that, oh yeah, the world's ending.
Well, there goes the sweet and tender future mother of my children.
Hurry up! These are the last 2 pairs.
Everybody on board!
Our hero, everyone. Someone just died, but fuck yeah, let's party! Kyrell gets dragged along on the boat by Zero, because she might as well come at this point. I mean, where's she gonna go? Apparently the flood has already started. Looky. Oh, and remember those merchants that bought Noah's pad in exchange for some pigeons? Yeah, there are human villains. No, they're just irritating distractions from the main plot, but we'll get there. For now, they've managed to get aboard the Ark. Inside the Ark, Kyrell tries to calm the animals down and organize everyone. But Zero, what the fuck happened in this shot? Look, she never looks this way in the rest of the film. Here it's like someone slightly worse at drawing and yet slightly also more perverted took over animating her. Also, I'm only announcing this because I'm a degenerate, but Kyrell is my waifu for the rest of this movie. She makes the most sense in every scene, her voice actors makes her sound adorable yet intelligent, and so far I identify with her frustration in trying to sort out all this madness. I mean, look what I review and tell me you don't get it. Anyway, Zero and everyone excitedly go to their rooms, and wouldn't you know it, Kyrell and Zero get to share a room. So they have a little conversation about partnering up.
I might lose my image as king if I don't show myself in the right company.
Are you insinuating I'm not good enough for you?
Well, I wasn't exactly referring to being good enough. It's more a question of...
Of weight?
You see, it's not so much about what you are, but rather of what you aren't.
Classy. Though I can't totally blame him after how distraught he seemed over Pumbaa.
Bruma.
Right, Roomba.
Bruma.
Okay, maybe Zero has a point. You're just no fun. Still, this is the most character development we get out of Zero in such a short period of time, and it paints him as a massive dick. We're halfway through the movie already, and this is how we're supposed to view one of our main characters? Okay, but with few redeeming qualities aside from being attractive, he's got nothing. He's an empty-headed asshole, and that's not someone I want to follow. Can we please stay with Kyrell while Zero runs to the bar? When did they build a fucking bar? Well, this is our next scene, where the Predators discuss their evil plan with Dagnino, how they want to overthrow King Zero, and basically turn all non-predators into industrialized food. So what humans do, but even worse and on a much larger scale. Somehow.
Aren't you aware that we've earned the respect of all the animals on board this Ark?
No, they trust you, Dagnino, not all predators. Your word is all they have to go on. I know it's a kid's film, but is this all it took to win over all the herbivores, really? They want to put Zero in a bad light and use Dagnino's leverage over the herbivores to take control of everything. So they try to seduce him with the help of, oh, come the hell on! Look at her! If even Disney's staff have private porn stashes, then there must be a fucking Bible to this character somewhere. I can't believe this. This is Panthy. Or, no wait, how do you say it? Panty. They shortened Panther to Panty. They literally named the most sexed up character in the film after underwear. This was for kids at one point, right? Before anything can go too far, Kyrell bursts in demanding to know who authorized this club or these drinks or all this fun. Frustrated with Zero, she finally reveals what's actually going on and what she wanted to actually talk about in the bedroom. So part of what Zero's cut introduction made clear was that he hadn't really realized the world was ending. Pretty fucked how she phrases this for him, as she's aware he doesn't quite grasp this concept.
Isn't this rain telling you anything? I suppose now you'll understand that we all rely on your decisions. You are the king, the only survivor of your lineage. As far as showing concern about those I love, that's all I've done. That's all I've ever done.
Jesus. Imagine how you must be feeling right now. Half plastered and you realize you're all alone. This is starting to reflect my life a little too much. Let's cut to something else. Family's growing restless as time goes on. Evil merchants getting ready to attend the first and loneliest FurCon. Oh good, the gay monkey is giving a massage to... Is that his room? Come on, no way that's his room. Where's the teenage girl hiding who designed this? Guys, if you wanted us to know he's the sub in the relationship, you've already done it. Look at his girlfriend. A female bird butts in on this manly bonding session to inform us her husband's missing. This does have a payoff, but not a good one. Zero decides that he has to become a better leader, so he goes to wake Kyrell, and holy hot diggity goddamn! She's just, sprawled out, chilling. Nothing abnormal here. Moving on. These disguised morons that were forced to keep watching draw breath from this Earth's precious supply stumble across the bad guys discussing their plan to frame Zero for killing an animal. Instead of chasing the frightened pair down and actually, killing them, they just don't.
It's not necessary. I don't suppose they can go far.
Yes, but word can, Dagnino. Word can spread. For the cunning antagonist, you really aren't that smart. But wait, remember? This bird's husband's missing and she's all torn up about it. Oh, look, there he is. Nice save, bro. You almost killed off an entire species there, Jersey Shore. Just as Zero is making some actual progress on being a king, listening to the concerns of his people and all that jazz, guess who comes knocking to have lunch?
Zero, wanna have lunch together?
Okay, I'll be right with you.
So Pantyhose takes Zero to continue wooing him, and when he returns to his room, he finds an angry Kyrell kicking him out and berating him for not being a good king. Admittedly, this is due partly to her jealousy, but she has a good point. Then we get treated to more of these two and their antics trying to get above deck. They hope that the food the animals are cooking will get them upstairs, because sure, and all it does is make everybody have terrible indigestion. Escaping from some predators who give chase, these two jump down a chute and end up in a trash pile that's being lifted above. They're confused for animals and chased by Noah's sons and their starving wives, only to result in Noah getting knocked down the air vent. His eldest son says he'll go look for his father, but obviously fuck that, so they immediately ignore their grieving mother and run off to take control of the ship. My god, is this the fucking Love Boat or what? Luckily, that little birdie from before goes after Noah, probably to gnaw on his corpse. Oh, and if you didn't think these guys were morons before, here you go.
Farfan, Esther, is that you?
Of course it is, old man.
Why are you here among the animals? Why didn't you ask for help?
What fun is it to ask for something when one can get it by force?
Oh.
Why? There's being evil and then there's being stupid. Why not just play him for a fool and get upstairs? Oh, never mind. They conk Noah out and leave him there to make their way upstairs. Through a confrontation with these merchants, Dagnino acquires a fake pelt and sets the plan of framing Zero into action. Oh, I should mention at this point that Zero had gradually, or really rather sporadically, fallen in love with Kyrell, or at least realizes feelings for her, and is off to confront Panty and tell her their relationship is over. She takes it well.
Help! You have to learn to accept that someone doesn't love you. Ah!
Here, wipe it off.
Thank you.
He ate it. He ripped open its belly and then he ate it right in front of me. Then...
What are you saying?
So the plan goes smoothly, and with a lot of tomato juice and a fake pelt, Zero is seen by everyone as a traitor and a murderer, and Dagnino and his crew are seen as trustworthy as they drag Zero off to be put in a lockup. Now you'd think that these animals, with their heightened sense of smell, would be able to distinguish between animal blood on torn up flesh and tomato juice on panther cleavage. But alas, nobody does. Oh, except this guy and his friends, so okay, there's no ignoring that everyone here is either stupid or assholes. After being put in a lockup, Zero is informed of the Predator's true intentions and how they plan on taking down anyone who gets in their way. Even Kyrell. Kyrell is informed via Sherlock and Watson here that not all is as it appears, and the gang go to spring Zero from jail. Oh, and the humans fight for control of the ship. I mean, do we even care anymore what they do? The kids, the parents, aliens from the planet, whatever the fuck bullshit Scientologists believe, they've all tuned out from the human story by now. And the animals are only interesting because Dad's a closet furry and Mom thinks Zero looks like Anthrokovu. We do get a mildly amusing scene where a trapped and hopeful Noah gives an inspired message to this fallen and injured bird friend, and Zero overhears this and thinks it's some voice of his lineage giving him a pep talk. This doesn't really lead anywhere and only reaffirms Zero's determination to fight for his subjects or whatever before the rescue party comes knocking.
I wasn't able to see that you've always loved me. And what's worse, I couldn't see that I loved you.
You only thought that a little bit of fun wasn't the end of the world.
There's no time to get all romantic now, you two. We have a kingdom to reclaim, lovebirds.
Call them whatever the hell you want, however many times you want. They've got less chemistry than Humphrey and Kate. At least they interacted throughout the whole movie.
Hey! Akamateko. 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 Atenete tanata. Ana ichichi. Akakititi la. Aupa. Aupa. Aupa nekupane ditite. Hey!
What the fuck? Okay, before anyone tries to pull out their history textbooks and explain this part to me, I have Google too. I know what this is. I also know that this movie has shown little to no interest prior in developing the kingdom in which these animals reside, how it operates, or even paying homages to other specific cultures. So this comes right the hell out of nowhere, and for me and others who don't know what this dance is or what it symbolizes, it's absolutely hilarious to just suddenly have everything slow down, the music die out, and they just all start dancing. So a fight breaks out, which results in Dagnino nearly besting Zero in a fight, only to be encouraged to continue on by Dagnino talking shit on Kyrell. Holy shit, blood! In a kid's movie! Everyone lose your minds! The ship suddenly hits something outside, and Dagnino and his other predator friends are stuck in a wall. The animals freak out, and Zero can't seem to calm them down or be a real leader at first, only realizing that when they're all stupid enough to brave the ice lands outside and die, that he needs to find it in himself to give some kind of kingly speech.
Come back! There is no place to go, and we don't have any food! What's happened here is not just by chance. It's the result of people without direction and without a king. Alone, even the strongest cannot survive. We will achieve our purpose only if we help each other and respect our differences. That is the only way that we will be saved.
Very nice. Noah returns to his family after climbing all the way back up there. Christ, old man, God favors the mighty, that's for fucking sure. And Zero hatches a plan to dislodge the boat from the iceberg. They gather up all the gunpowder that Noah just had on board. Noah, buddy, you were confident in God's words, yeah? You weren't gonna do anything crazy, right? They plan to use the gunpowder to melt their way out of the iceberg. Hey, I'm throwing this in at the last moment. I completely forgot to tell you what happens to these two, you know, because everybody really cares about these two. They fall off the ship, they land in the fucking Arctic, and these polar bears probably eat them. The end. Freed from the iceberg, they party like it's the end of the world.
I guess we should go to bed. Tomorrow we have lots of work to do.
Just one more glass. It's not like it's the end of the world.
Kyrell.
Oh, Kyrell. Literally all the world's everything fucking died. Also, why is Panty in a cage? 'Cause she's evil? Dude, you're making her dance like a fucking stripper. End this movie. Please, God, just end it. Okay, look. This was an experience, to be sure, but not one that I would recommend to other people. There's movies that aren't so bad, and this is one of them. That being said, that doesn't mean it's so good either. It's actually kind of bad. The animation is pretty decent, especially if you get a Blu-ray copy unlike poor plebeian Shade did, but I'd be very remiss to fail in mentioning the many shortcomings of the film. Voice acting can be decent and even rather good at times, primarily with Kyrell, but mostly it's the stiff dub acting we've all come to expect. There's this weightless feeling like nothing's going on even when there's stuff happening, probably because the one and only interesting plot point going on revolves around the animals and how the predators are trying to usurp Zero's throne. The humans range from annoying to bland, and they're all seasoned with an even helping of underdevelopment, which leaves only one other thing to watch: the zany, slapstick, and lame joke-riddled sections involving the merchants. No, I still refuse to say their names. They do not deserve it. They're obnoxious, unfunny, and almost completely useless to the plot, save for providing fake animal hide to Dagnino for framing Zero with. That's all. Otherwise, they pad the runtime, and if they were taken out, this would be blissfully shorter and far better. Zero also doesn't really develop into a better person or leader, and his romance with Kyrell doesn't really develop naturally. They try to use Bombay, the gay orangutan, as sort of a guiding voice and the wise sage, but otherwise there's very little to show for his development. Why does he come to like Kyrell? Because she likes him? Because she's always bossing him around? Doesn't seem to fit his womanizing nature, which itself doesn't resolve naturally. If you think I'm being nitpicky, that's your opinion, sure, that's fine, but these things really did stick out to me. Other than a few moments at the beginning with the birds and at the end with this little fight sequence, there is little to no action or even fun animation to keep your attention, other than the sexed up animals, which, as much as we joke about it, cannot hold a movie on their own. When the romance, the characters, and a lot of other aspects are falling this short, how can you call it a good movie? What draws you to it? What makes you want to come back to it? For me, it's nothing. It's sad but true, it's just not very entertaining. I know there's a lot of people who like this movie, that's fair. I had an okay time watching it, I'll give you that, but then again, fuck, there's people who dislike my review of the last Noah's Ark, so maybe I'm just an asshole, and you'd be right to think that. But if you really cared to ask me my opinion, I'd probably do like my dragon friend here and just sit this boat right out. Cheers, guys. Holy shit, we are almost at 600 fucking subscribers. I was just at 500 before I even started recording this. You know, I was still working on the end of the script. New Year's hadn't even ended yet. You know, Christmas was still in the future. I mean, holy shit. You guys are amazing. Over 200 subscribers in such a short period of time. I mean, where did you all come from? Hi, I'm Shade. Sorry if my voice isn't quite up to par in this video. I have to be honest here. I was scratching my arm if you heard that. Sorry. I have to be honest here. I got really sick literally the day after I recorded my audio for this review, and I recorded it using my new microphone here. I'm a very proud Papa Dragon of this beautiful, beautiful piece. It's actually the one Howard Stern uses, which is not me flexing or nothing, I promise. I'm just saying I'm really proud of it because, you know, it was a Christmas present from my family. Okay, I'm rambling. We can talk about that any other time, anywhere. But what's important is that I'm sick, and I mean pretty damn sick. I feel really bad. My voice is like audibly worse than normal. I'm going to try to fix that in post for you guys. I'm sorry if my voice doesn't sound anywhere near as good as it normally does. Hell, if it even sounded good to begin with. I know, that was a little bit of self-deprecation humor. Always helps us get through our sick days, doesn't it? But for real, thank you so much for the subscribers. I promise not to let any of you down. I have been posting slower, and frankly, I'm going to keep it that way for now, just so I can be more honest and say about a review a month. That's what I can do. Rambling done. I gotta go and edit this and get this out to you guys. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Cheers, guys.